Hey, this is Cynthia Partrick with the Allen Donald team, and we are sitting here today with one of our most recent clients, Jocelyn Evans. She just bought a beautiful townhome in Charleston National and Mount Pleasant. So Jocelyn, if you wouldn't mind, please tell us 3 things about the buyer process that was something that was enjoyable for you.
Well, number one, I really enjoyed the fact that you took the time to really learn what I was looking for. Initially, I didn't even know what I was looking for because my circumstance had changed. So first I needed one type of property because I had my mom, she had dementia, she was going to live in a hospital bed, but then when she transitioned to heaven, then all of a sudden my needs changed, and so it took a year before I found something that I really liked. But you showed me a number of different properties. You explained the different neighborhoods, and you didn't mind taking the time to research and then find out whether that was the best thing for me. And then number 2, I like the fact that you realize I'm not a millennial, and I don't want to just communicate online or basically through texting or through Facebook. Lots of times I like to talk on the phone and discuss that, and you're more than willing to do that. And number 3, you're available. So if I had questions, you were there to answer, you were there to remind me of things. I'm kind of type A, so I would turn around and do things like 5 minutes later and then call you and say, did you get that? And you were able to adjust to my personality, and I think that's very good.
Jocelyn, how was your experience with the service providers that we recommended on our team?
Well, Cynthia, you and your team did a fantastic job. So you seamlessly coordinated the lender, you coordinated the inspector, you had someone who was doing the transactions and the documentation, and I always was in constant contact with them so that there were no delays. I didn't have to work with individual people and try to organize a lot myself. For example, when I actually wanted to go to my original lender who could not close on the date that I'd agreed to with the sellers, then you gave me Wade, a lender from Charleston, who was willing to talk to me at 8 o'clock at night and get the loan started. That's something that you really don't get unless you have relationships with a lot of these different people. Also, we had an inspector that was very good, very honest, recommended what I needed to do, recommended things that the homeowners should do as part of the sale, but also told me what I should do that was not part of the sale, just what good practices for maintaining your home. And I really appreciate that. We had someone who was a closer, a separate person who was closer doing all the paperwork. So when it was time for the lawyers to get a number of different documents, she checked on that all the time. Everything was on time and make sure that I knew that I had to meet things by a certain date, who it had to go to, and I would email or text and say, did you receive that? The person I was supposed to get it to received that. So by the time we went to closing, it was pretty seamless. We didn't have any last minute changes, last minute adjustment, because the process was very organized.
What did you learn about the home buying process that you think is unique to Keller Williams?
Well, you have a software that's very unique, and what it doesn't just give you comparables in terms of what other prices have sold in the neighborhood, but what it's a model, it's a forecasting model that predicts what the price should be based on not only what the other houses have sold for, but what's happening in the economy. I bought my house during the COVID period when we had the lockdown, and so there weren't a lot of buyers out there, and that model adjusted value, and it allowed me to get the right house and the right value. So when I looked at this property, I looked at 3 or 4 properties in this neighborhood and in other neighborhoods that were different prices. In fact, this house was more expensive than other properties, and I wanted to know why. And so when I looked at the comparables on the outside, the houses looked the same, but in the inside, they were totally different. They didn't have the same upgrades, they didn't have the same features, and so it actually helped me target my search, and that was very valuable.
So Jocelyn, now that you're sitting here on your porch and all is said and done, would you choose to work with us again?
Absolutely. I have no buyer's remorse. I absolutely love my house. What I thought I was going to love about it, I really do love about it. And I want to take the opportunity to thank you for having my house clean with professional cleaners, my front door mat, so that people would not get my house dirty when they come in. And I just thank you a lot for everything you've done.